Guanyin has done this.
So, this person's name is Guanyin? Guanyin? Like for real? Well, in that case, you can just call me Gandalf. Look, Guanyin, full name 观世音菩萨, literally means the one who perceives the crisis of the world. She's the goddess of mercy, the savior of the suffering. People even pray to her to grant them a wise child. If a foreign woman calls her Guanyin, it's like a Chinese woman naming herself the Virgin Mary or Mother Teresa. I get it. In movies, people use names like this for dramatic contrast. But trust me, if people actually knew the weight beyond these names, we wouldn't have so many weird Chinese names out there. I can talk about this all day.
I could do this all day.
So, today, let's take a look at some of the weirdest Chinese names out there and the wide way people come up with them. Type 1. The Literalists. Some people like to take their names and translate the meaning of the word into Chinese. But trust me, it usually ends up being pretty weird. Take Armstrong for example. If you translate that literally into Chinese, your name becomes 胳膊特别壮, which means arms are especially strong. When a Chinese person hears that, the first thing they picture is Popeye the Sailor. Or, let's say your name is Fisher. You translate it directly. People's brain will immediately think of this. Or, if it's Bush, they think of this. Or Cook, they think of this. And what if his name is Dick? Well, yeah. Of course, this method isn't super common, mostly because many English names don't actually have a literal meaning besides being a name. So there's no way to translate them by definition.
I am Guanyin, and Guanyin has done this.
Type 2. The Transliterators. It's the most official way to translate names. It's even the method used by the Chinese government. It's called transliteration, where you choose Chinese characters based solely on how the English name sounds. For example, Keanu Reeves becomes 基努里维斯. Taylor Swift becomes 泰勒斯威夫特. And Kobe Bryant becomes 科比布莱恩特. Usually, this is totally safe, very formal, and very official. But here's the catch. Since the method is subjective, the same pronunciation can be written with different characters, which lead to some hilarious situations. Take John Cena for instance. His official name is 约翰塞纳. To many Chinese netizens, it sounds exactly like 赵喜娜, which sounds like a name of a K-pop female idol. Or take Tony Stark. His official name is 托尼史塔克, but the Stark part sounds dangerously close to 史大科, which literally means a giant piece of poop. Here's a viral meme in China right now. In Harry Potter, there's a villain, Draco Malfoy. In Taiwan, they called him 拽哥马粪, which sounds like arrogant bro horse down. Meanwhile, in mainland China, we called him 马尔福. In Chinese, 马尔福 could be interpreted as when the horse arrives, good fortune follows. Since this happens to be the year of the horse in China, Shopping malls are literally putting up posters of Malfoy to welcome the festival season.
I am Guanyin, and Guanyin has done this.
Type 3. I just really like this. This method is exactly the same as how Chinese people do it. We name ourselves after things we like. For example, there are foreigners named Shaolin which literally means Shaolin Temple, or 好厉害, which just means awesome, or even 高富帅, a term for high-quality male who is tall, rich, and handsome, the Mr. Perfect. I've even seen someone name themselves Wang Lao Ji, which is the name of a famous Chinese herbal tea brand used for cooling down the body. And then there's other foodies. They love naming themselves after their favorite dishes: spicy crawfish, Mapo Tofu, and Kung Pao chicken. Now, I know what you're thinking. But Chinese people name themselves apple and cherry all the time. Sure, but here's the difference. Apple and cherry are things growing in nature. The things I just mentioned, those are fully processed, cooked dishes. It's like meeting someone who named apple versus meeting someone who named apple pie. Which one makes you do a double take?
I am Guanyin, and Guanyin has done this.
Type 4. The Celebrity Copycats. Some people choose to name themselves after famous figures from Chinese history. A great example I know is Lisa Hoffman, whose Chinese name is Li Bai, named after the most legendary poet in Chinese history. Usually, people who pick names like this have a much deeper understanding and appreciation of Chinese culture and history. And to be honest, Chinese people actually quite like these names, even though it feels a little bit extra. Let me give you another example. Jonathan Coles Reed. He's an American actor who's been in countless Chinese movies and TV shows. His Chinese name is Cao Cao. This name comes from the legendary statesman and the military leader of the Three Kingdoms period. If you ever played any games set in ancient China, you definitely know who he is. But in China, there's a famous saying, 说曹操,曹操到, which literally means speak of Cao Cao and Cao Cao arrives. It's a Chinese version of speak of the devil. Because of this, we often joke that Cao Cao is the fastest runner in China. In fact, we even have a popular rideshare app called Cao Cao Travel. Think about how meta this is. It's like calling an Uber, and the driver's actual name is also Uber. After talking about all those weird Chinese names, I want to share a few examples of what I consider to be truly great Chinese names, and you can take this as a reference. First up, Rosamund Pike. She has a deep understanding of Chinese culture, likely because her children are learning the language. In China, many people might not even know her English name, but they definitely know her Chinese one, Pei Chunhua. The surname Pei is a clever phonetic match for Pike, but the best part is her given name. Chun carries the meaning of being pure, simple, or honest. Hua means beautiful, and in classical Chinese, it can also refer to a flower. So put together, her name roughly translates to a pure, simple flower, or an understated beauty. I think this perfectly captures her image and her temperament as an actress. Another legendary name is Bai Qiu'en, the Chinese name for Henry Norman Bethune. He was a renowned thoracic surgeon, a Canadian communist, and an internationalist fighter. In China, we all call him the good friend of the Chinese people. During the war against Japanese aggression, he saved countless Chinese soldiers' lives. His Chinese name is perfectly reflection of both his profession and his spirit. Like the others, it started as a phonetic translation of bassoon. Bai means white, a color that immediately makes us think of a doctor's white coat. Qiu means to seek or to pursue, and En represents grace, mercy, and compassion. Honestly, this name is 1,000 times better than just calling yourself Guanyin.
What I wanted to say was, I am Roy, and Roy has done this.
Today, you can find many hospitals across China named after Bai Qiu'en. It's a tribute to his great contribution, and it's a proof of how powerful a truly well-chosen name can be. Finding the right Chinese name is a journey of cultural discovery. It's not just about matching syllables, it's about finding a bridge between two words. As we saw with Rosamund Pike and Dr. Bassoon, a truly great Chinese name doesn't just sound local, it carries your spirit. If you are searching for that right name, take your time. Look for something that reflects truly who you are.